First, though, England captain Harry Kane will wear a special anti-discriminatory captain's armband during this winter's World Cup in Qatar, along with captains of 9 other nations, including Wales, France and the Netherlands. Well, as you can see, Kaveh Solokal is here with us. Just tell us about this announcement in the last hour, Kaveh.
Well, look, it is an announcement that we have been waiting for because the World Cup is 2 months away and we have needed to know what the FA's position is as far as the rights of migrant workers who've been building the stadiums and the infrastructure out in Qatar in very, very difficult conditions, and also where they stand on the fact that the World Cup is being held in a country where homosexuality is illegal. For instance, there have been concerns that LGBTQ+ people may not be able to go and watch games at the World Cup. So we've been waiting to hear from the FA, and the FA this morning have said that they have signed up to a campaign that was initiated by the Netherlands Football Association, and also 9 other countries have signed up to it. And for instance, the captains of these countries, Harry Kane is going to be wearing a special armband from Friday in the Nations League games coming up, and also at the World Cup, and that is to promote inclusion and campaign against discrimination. The FA have also said that they support calls for a migrant centre to be set up in Qatar. Also, they believe that compensation should be paid to any migrant workers who've been injured or died, compensation paid to their families in that instance during construction projects for the World Cup. And they also say that they will make sure that due diligence is done on any of their partners during the World Cup. For instance, if England are staying at their hotel, they want to make sure that the people working at that hotel are being treated properly and paid a fair wage. And they finish off by saying that the players, while they are in Qatar for the World Cup, plan to meet some migrant workers while they're out there.
Interesting, Kaveh, because before, with other positions, FIFA have said they cannot be political, they cannot show any political things. Does this get round that? Because it seems to be along those lines, doesn't it?
Well, look, I think it does, but you know, a lot of people will be saying, is this really going to be effective? Is it too little, too late? Because these stadiums have already been built. You know, a lot of the people who built these stadiums, working in incredibly difficult conditions, being paid sometimes something like £10 a day to work in heat of 50 degrees centigrade. These stadiums are built. Those people have gone home. So some people will be saying, is this anything more than really a PR exercise? The FA needed to do something, they needed to say something. Those are what the cynics will say, those are what the critics will say. But as far as the FA are concerned, they will say that they've been working on this for a long time. A lot of people from the FA have visited Qatar. There's been constant dialogue with human rights organisations, with NGOs as well. They've been trying to find out what the situation is. And as far as they're concerned, there has been progress made in Qatar. There have been new employment laws brought in. But they think that more should be done. And the Football Association and Gareth Southgate are in a difficult position because it is difficult for them to come out and say something loudly and clearly when they will be going to Qatar to play in a World Cup. So they've got to be mindful of the feelings and the views and the values of the Qatari people and the Qatari government as well.
OK, Kaveh, for the moment, thank you very much indeed. Right, let's get more on this. We're going to get to Wales, shall we? Our senior reporter, Geraint Hughes, is at their training base. Afternoon, Geraint. The FA of Wales has also released a statement about the OneLove campaign. What have they had to say?
Yes, they're one of the signatories as well. You know, Wales is probably the smallest football association of the group from Europe that have come together with this One Love campaign. But behind the scenes, they've been working for a long time in terms of trying to send out the right messaging. They needed, I think, to be part of a larger group. The Welsh voice on its own would probably not get a huge amount of attention outside of Wales and outside of the UK. So I think they were, you know, from their perspective, it's good they're allied with some major football associations, along with the English FA, Germany, etc., France. But in terms of their work behind the scenes, they'll be saying that they've been doing a lot for a long time. However, I think the points that Carve made just a few moments ago are very valid. We're only 2 months away from the World Cup. Is this all a little bit too much too late? As I say, the stadiums are already built. There have been a number of high-profile terrible incidents around migrant workers and the facilities of where they work and where they live. So, you know, could more have been done earlier? I think Wales will be saying they had to be part of a larger group, a larger voice on that front. I think one thing that Wales have been actively vocal on, though, is their concern for LGBTQ+ followers of Wales, the Rainbow Wall, who very much form part of the Red Wall here. The supporters for Wales, about their safety in Qatar, but also about just sort of would they feel even just safe getting on a plane going there, let alone going to a game in the first place. I think that's been a voice that has been heard quite loudly and will continue to be heard loudly as well, and continued assurances as well ahead of the World Cup. Let's not forget, for Wales, this is not a common occurrence going to a World Cup. It's the first time in 64 years, and it's going to a country where there are a number of concerns for many supporters as well. But coming down to, I suppose, the visual impact of the PR point of this is that tomorrow night in Belgium, in Brussels, when Wales face Belgium, the two captains of the sides will be wearing the armband. I'm sure it'll be picked up visibly. Who those captains will be, we're not yet 100% sure. There's a good chance it could be Gareth Bale for Wales. He's arrived here at the Welsh team HQ and is very much fit and available for selection. If he is and he starts, he will no doubt be the captain and wearing that armband as well. And he could be lining up against, you know, Kevin De Bruyne as well. But Wales will wear that armband tomorrow night. They'll also wear it in Cardiff on Sunday against Poland. And from the Welsh FA's perspective, it's interesting to read a statement they've put out. It's not a fait accompli that they're going to wear that armband at the World Cup. They have asked, they've sent off to FIFA asking permission to wear that armband, certainly for their first 3 games, which of course they're group games against the USA, Iran and England. But looking into the detail of the Welsh statement, at the moment they're in the process of asking FIFA for permission to wear the armband during the World Cup.